I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Ken Spriggs here, doing a little side build here. It's a pretty quick one. It won't be too many installments, but working on a group build for an online community called the Model Shop. I believe TrekWorks is the sponsor of that and getting that together with Boyd Crompton. Really cool guy. A lot of great builds. Love his Star Trek builds. He's definitely the master at Star Trek. So this build is for Star Wars, and what I've done is I started working on a Snowspeeder, and it's a little bit of a different build, taking a bit of a creative license on it and making kind of a what-if version of one rather than the standard one. I already built the smaller one. I have the combo kit I'll show you here in a minute with the 144 and the 148 as well, and the 148 is the one I'll be working on. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm doing here, and I'll show you the progress that I've made on that so far. All right. All right, so here's the kit that I am using. As you can see, it has the 148 and the 144 scale Snowspeeder. I've already completed the 144, and I did a separate video of this, like a one-time complete build. Made this little snow stand for it with some resin rocks, styrofoam base with some snow effect on it, and a piece of styrene. So I even took the little stand post from the kit and embedded it into the snow. So that turned out really well, and I did a normal build on that and some weathering, and I think that turned out pretty cool. Some of the weathering on the metal parts on the back. So okay, so what I'll be building now is its companion, the larger size one, which is the 148 kit. So in this particular kit, the other ones, they typically paired up a 144 with a 172. But due to the size of this actual craft, if they did a 172, it would be fairly small. It would only be maybe about twice this here, not that big. It wouldn't be very large. So they wisely went ahead and decided with the 148 scale on it. And so I'm going to go ahead and build that. It does have some pilot figures in the cockpit, and really great detail that all the Bandai kits have. So, all right, so let me go ahead and show you what I've started doing and the particular course that I'm taking on this build. All right, so I've decided to take a bit of a departure on this kit and do something a bit inventive on it. And I kind of got the idea from once after I did a flat black coat on it that started to remind me of the First Order TIE fighters that are black or metallic black and have some reds and some cool colors, silver, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and build my own version of what would be an Imperial Snowspeeder, a First Order Special Forces Snowspeeder to be exact. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it flat black, and I'm going to give it a different design. Instead of the orange paneling, I'm going to do like a glossy red or a satin red, and just give it primarily colors that are the black, metallic, some metallic black, red of course, and silver. I still have If you've watched my Millennium Falcon Jakku diorama build, the first order TIE fighters I built, I made up some metallic black by mixing together some gunmetal, maybe about 30 or 40% gunmetal to 60 to 70% of just black, and came up with a really cool looking metallic black. So I'll probably use that very thin down to do a wash over top of the flat black, so it gives it more of that metallic look. I can also do some fine dry brushing of silver as well. So, and to get the red panels, I did a test so far, and this is just after I peeled the sticker off. I cut out the sticker from the kit, one of the bottom panels, and I just painted right over top of the red, I'm sorry, the orange, with some clear red from Tamiya. And what it does is it tones down the orange, makes it more of a reddish, but gives it that that glossy look too. So once I was done with it, I went ahead and peeled it off and stuck it on just like you normally do. And there's what I ended up with. So I think it looks pretty cool. It's almost kind of like a neon red. It's not going to be glossy when I'm done. I'm either going to get a flat coat, or what I'll probably do is maybe do a wash of some red, maybe some flat red over top of it once I get all the panels on. And I'm going to do that with all the panels on this kit. The grays, I'll probably spray those down, airbrush them with like a metallic gray, and the reds of course will be red, or the oranges, I'm sorry, will be red, and then just put those all over the kit. So I think that looks pretty cool. And I took the cockpit seats. I got the cockpit pretty much done. So there's the black on the sides of them, and I have some dry brushed metallics, a little bit of reds in there, as you can probably see. And what I did was I took, initially I had painted the seat cushions flat earth, and I was going to make them look leathery, but then I just took some of the chrome silver and just brushed it over top of it. It gives it kind of a dingy silver. But same thing, I'm going with that black and silver and red kind of a motif. The bottom of the cockpit I had already begun to paint, and that's actually a field blue, but it looks almost like a dark gray, so I'll leave that as it is, because you really don't see it that much. And then I started to do some painting on the canopy. So I have flat black on the outside. On the inside I painted it with some chrome silver. And once that dries, I'm going to put some of the the clear red over top of that as well. And I'm thinking about lighting this, putting a single SMD inside of it to give like a red glow, and that will help to reflect it somewhat. Alright, so that's coming along pretty well there. The side cockpit controls, I had initially, you can see in that little checkered pattern, I put some of that field blue, so it comes out looking kind of gray. But then I did some dry brushing with some chrome silver. I put some of the red in there as well, as you can see, some clear red over top of some chrome silver. Did the same over here. Kind of give it that look. And then on the controls inside of the cockpit, I have that back control there. I had already made that center console green over silver, and then I did some of the same on the sides with some red, as you can see. And then on the front, I painted those two little foot pedals silver, and I also have some silver and red for the controls and the consoles, and some dry brushing of silver. So I'm not going to do a ton of finishing in the cockpit. I'm pretty much done, because you're not really going to see it. So let me go ahead and put this all together now, and then I'll show you how that's going to look with the cockpit all assembled. And here's a shot with the cockpit together with the weathering that I've done so far. You're not going to see a ton of this once everything's together. I probably won't glue on the top canopy so you can look inside, but and plus with the pilots in, you're not going to see those seats very much. But I just I kind of favored, once again, the idea of the blacks, the silver, the red. I did have some green in that little screen right there, which I initially did when I was going to just do the regular Snowspeeder for the Rebels, but now I put some reds on the sides. I have some reds on the side panels there, as you can see, on both sides of it. And on the front controls, some little panels that are red as well and silver. Okay. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. And like I said, most of this you won't see, but once I get it completed, I'm looking at an idea of probably lighting it with some red light, maybe one single surface mounted LED on the top roof, something like that, to give it a red glow. So a lot of the silvers will pick that up. Okay. All right, so this is coming along really well. I'm really loving this build a lot. Using my creativity and coming up with a first order Snowspeeder. This kit is just perfect for these colors with the black and the silver and the reds. So it's really coming alive here. So I got these two top sections here for the engines on, and as you can see, I use some chrome silver Tamiya to dry brush over the engine parts inside and over those little grills on the front to highlight them. And I'll do the same on the little tubes that come out of here for the engines and the guns and that kind of thing, in the back engines. And those aren't permanently attached yet, but I'm kind of working on them. I also did some dry brushing of the chrome silver on the back parts here, so when I put those grills over top, that'll show through. Still deciding what color I'm going to do for the back grill, since the rest of it's black. I might do like a gunmetal kind of a thing. But that's really pretty cool. I like how that's looking so far. What I've also done is some more of the clear red here from Tamiya. And after I had already painted the chrome silver on the inside of the cockpit, I put some of the clear red over top of it and letting that dry. So when I light it inside, it'll help a little better to glow that red, is what I'm trying to get. A little bit of touch up on there with some more black, but that's not a problem. Might even just leave it as part of the weathering, because I'll do some weathering as well and have some chipping with some silver underneath. So in addition, I also did another set of the decals, the stickers actually, which I showed a previous shot. I taped them down on a piece of masking tape on this piece of cardboard here. And so we have the kit parts that are orange, and I painted those with the gloss red, or the clear red. Also, there's the stickers that are going to go on it as well. Most of these are on the top. Got some clear red on those as well. I'll let those dry overnight so it's nice and solid, and then I'll do like I did on the bottom. I'll peel those off, and they'll go over top of the kit. And these plastic pieces, they snap in, and they'll also be clear red as well. So, all right. So I think that's going to work pretty well. So right now I'm focusing on getting most of the pieces in place, and once I get those all there, then I can start working on some of the weathering, as it were. I don't know how much weathering I'm going to do, but I'll probably try to blend these in with some different metallics like gunmetal and my metallic black as well. So okay, but that's looking really cool. There's that red on the bottom again. And this I'll dull down as well, like I said, with maybe some dry brushing of some red, that kind of thing, or even a flat coat. Alright, so continuing to work on this, quite an enjoyable kit. Really liking this this build that I'm doing. So okay, all right, let me do a little bit more, and then we'll see what progress we can get done here. And here are my completed pilots. I just took the Snowspeeder pilots and I adapted them to look like the TIE Fighter ones. Just basically painted them gloss black and used some grays and silvers on them. For the visor, I put a chrome silver on, and then the gloss red over top of it to give that red glow about it. Looks pretty cool. Here's the other one. And I let them glossy black because they are kind of a shiny black in their outfits. So okay, so those are all done, ready to go. Alright, so I made some progress with the lighting of this kit. I'm going to have some red lights in there. Basically, they're just cool white surface mounted LEDs that I put some clear red over top of, some Tamiya clear red. Initially, I wanted to put them, and I actually cut out little holes to put them in these side panels, and have them glow from the side. You can see that hole coming through there, that little hole right there. And where I drilled through and had it glued in place. But once I got that inside the kit, it really didn't illuminate it very well, even with two of them. They just sort of hit up against this wall on the side of the seats right there. So I decided to come at a different angle where the light would come from the front to the front pilot and from the back to the back pilot. So what I did was just use the two pieces that go into it, as I just showed you here. So this little front control goes in the front of the cockpit, and this control section goes in the back. So what I did is I have that wired in there. See if I can get a shot. Yeah, you can see that little red clear part. I have some clear red Tamiya drying on that right now. And it's underneath this other control, so hopefully it won't be as obvious once I light it up. And the other one I have in the front control panel. You can see the red right there underneath. And the same thing. So if you're looking at it from the top, you won't really see it. It'll be under the control panel, and it'll be glowing towards the front pilot, and from the front one, and the back pilot from the back one. So all right, let me light these up and I'll show you what those are going to look like. Okay, and here's a little light test for the light on the front of the control panel. I know it kind of fades away on the camera, but once it's inside the kit, it will be glowing back onto the pilot. Yeah, sort of like that. It's not the right angle, of course, but it will be inside the front of the cockpit. So I'm just letting that dry right now. I have some clear red on it, but that's the light from the front. Sorry, it's shaking so much on the wire there. Let me show you the back one here in a second. All right, and there's the back control panel, the back of the cockpit really. And I'm hoping that you won't see it as much from the top because it'll be hidden by the top of these controls, but it'll glow back onto the back pilot. It'll be back in the back here like this. And both of these connect on the top, so I can run the wires down through and then down through that hole right there to go down through the stand. So because there's no rooms in this ship for any kind of battery, no room to put a battery in it. All right, so once again, that's drying there, and we'll let that dry. And sorry for the shakiness, but I still have to mask off the back of them so the light doesn't come through. I'm not sure how much would anyway because it's pretty well buried in there, but I think that'll be pretty cool once I get those going as well. Alright, so I pretty much have all the parts painted and ready to go together. I'm not going to snap them all in place until everything's all set up. But here are the two side sections entirely. I still have to do some more painting and some more weathering, that kind of thing on them, especially that panel right there. And the rest of these I have to do some more like silver or metallic kind of brushings, that sort of thing. So these are both ready to go and ready to snap on. I have the little plates here for the back. I guess they're stabilizing fins or something that are going to be angled down a bit. Those are both painted, ready to go. And I did a little more tweaking of my pilots. You can see their gloves there. I used just a dry brushing of some gunmetal to tone down that bright gray. Give them a little better look. So I think they look pretty cool. All right, and then I put an initial coat of silver on the back grille, since, as I said, these are kind of reversed. So this was normally a darker metallic and all burnt and that kind of thing on the regular Snowspeeder, but since they're reversed, I went with the silver, chrome silver, and then I'll probably dry brush some other metallics on top of that to tone some of that brightness down. But I think that looks pretty cool, and that's kind of neat. So, all right, so everything's coming together well. Got that little plate in there, right there, the red over top of the orange. So it's all about ready to put together and get it completed here shortly. So, but still some more things to tweak, especially with the lighting. Get it in there, get it wired. So that's going to wrap it up for this week on this build. I'm going to put together some ideas on what I'm going to do for the diorama. It's going to be something snow-based, since it is a Snowspeeder after all. Not quite sure what I'm going to do, but being as it's a first order, I'm going to come up with some kind of a scene or something from a film that would involve them. So, all right. So definitely loving this build, like I said, and got a lot of progress this week. All right. So I will see you on the next video for this. All right. Thank you, everybody.